I have never seen somebody like this guy, Chris Cuomo, who is a journalist, quote unquote journalist. I don't know what kind of journalism he does, getting destroyed the way he did in this interview. Just take a listen first.
About truth, we got to talk about justice. We got to talk about love. None of us have a monopoly on those three, but if we're not seeking them, then we're on our way to self-destruction. This is Herman Melville's Moby Dick and the Pequod and Ahab enacted in historical terms. And he's the greatest novelist and epic writer of American literature alongside Toni Morrison and Faulkner. Why is that important? Because the lies are so thick, though, brother. When I just heard my dear brother, what was his name, Crenshaw? When he just said there's more combatants more combatants than civilians. Come on, brother. Everybody knows that's a lie. All the evidence is such, it reflects a indifference or a callousness or even a contempt to precious Palestinians. You got genocide going on. You got ethnic cleansing going on. You got 15,000 Palestinian children killed going on. If that doesn't move you, then we've got a spiritual problem. We've got a moral problem. We got people who just don't care. They're not concerned. And you think about the flag. Now, the flag, we can look at it from the vantage point of the United States. Some of us, including myself, have relatives who were lynched hanging from trees coming home from World War I in the American flag. So the flag might mean something differently to different people. If your family have a flag, that's a different perception. That's going to be a beautiful thing because it might be accenting the best of America, and that's what that flag signifies. But for other people, it signifies something else. For these young folk, they're not tied to Iran. They see the flag and they hear rationalizations of massacres and genocide, and they take a moral stand. And that's true for any set of perceptions. And no one set of perceptions capture the whole truth, though, Brother Chris. Not at all. The flag's going to mean
listen, I hear you.
Okay, so before he opens his mouth, the windbag, Chris Cuomo, take a look at what he is showing us on the screen, on the banner. Protesters burn American flags in D.C. Well, okay, we understand that happened, but what about putting a banner saying the war criminal gave a speech in Congress? What about that, Chris Cuomo, you windbag? He doesn't do that. And when Cornel West was just steamrolling this guy, Chris Cuomo, he had absolutely nothing to say in response. Zero rebuttal, zero. And the one he came up with was so lame. Just take a listen.
I hear you, and you are allowed to.
And so forth. And that's why freedom of expression is so important. We all have a right to be wrong.
I'm with it.
We all have the right to express things that we feel very deeply about. Absolutely.
I am with it. And the Supreme Court codified this for us and said the flag can get treated just like everything else. And that's why you're allowed to burn it and not get arrested. But here's the part I don't get. Everything you just said, I think, is saleable. People can make their determinations of whether they want to agree or not. You never mentioned that you are a proponent of a terror organization. Why are so many of these people doing this? You see on your screen right now, why spray paint Hamas? Why be for the Palestinian people? Hamas is part of the problem, not the solution.
Well, I mean,
Okay, so before he will respond, just want to tell you guys, this is the moment. This is the moment when his career is over. Chris Cuomo, he lost all his credibility after what Cornel West said. Take a listen one more time.
Why be for the Palestinian people? Hamas is part of the problem, not the solution.
Well, I mean, one is you've got to be consistent in your characterizations of terrorism. If terrorism is defined as organized killing of innocent people, and I think the killing of any innocent person, Africa, Latin America, Boston, New York, any color, I think that's not only wrong, I think it's immoral. But if we're going to be consistent, then the IDF is a terrorist organization. It has organized in such a way. They
have not been designated that by America.
Hamas has. Innocent people. They've been killing innocent people. When we dropped bombs on Hiroshima, those are war crimes, Chris. Those are war crimes. I don't care what patriotic sensibility you have. Truth and justice and love are bigger than any flag, bigger than any tribe, any bigger than any nation. So if Hamas kills innocent folk, of course that's immoral. Of course that's beyond wrong. If the IDF kills innocent folk, people won't say too much. They bring the head of the IDF to Congress and give him 40 ovations with no mention of the humanity of precious Palestinian babies and women and men who were being killed this very moment. And you know and I know, if those babies and innocent civilians were white or Jewish, and if Muslims or Africans or Arabs were doing that to whites and Jews, the U.S. government would have a very different response. That's the racist element.
I hear you.
Believe a Jewish baby has
a big
exactly
reason.
the same value as a Palestinian baby or a black baby and a white baby. We've got to hold up that bloodstained banner, Brother Chris.
Okay, so basically he doesn't have any response. He was looking for a response. Chris Cuomo, he was totally gobsmacked. He was like slack-jawed, and he had absolutely nothing to say. I was like, I know. Please stop humiliating me. Please stop embarrassing me. Please stop calling me out on my show. Please, I beg you, stop. Please, I made a mistake. I am so horrible. Oh my goodness. Why did I ask this question? He was like lectured, and he had absolutely nothing to say. He calls Hamas terrorists. What about IDF? If you're going to call somebody terrorist, an organization, his response was like, U.S. designated Hamas as terrorist, not IDF. Who cares? United States is not United States of America today. It is United States of Israel. They are so biased that they invited a war criminal in the Congress. The criminal who is being charged and convicted of murder, of genocide by ICC. And United Nations already said it long before that their existence is on the Palestinian land is an occupation. So anything that Palestinians do these days or in the past or in the future is justified because you're occupying their land. They're not occupying your land, so you're the occupier. Your job is to steal. And last month they stole 3,400 acres of land in the West Bank. For Chris Cuomo, we did not recognize Hamas to be a terrorist organization. And he was like, okay, no problem. Hamas is a terrorist organization. I agree with you. But what about IDF? They're killing babies. They're just massacring the entire population in Gaza. And you don't see any problem with that. But the problem that you see is somebody in the States spray painted Hamas. That's the problem you see, Chris Cuomo? Oh, my God. I mean, they have, like, as Bassem Yusuf said, this is tunnel vision. They don't see the whole truth. They don't want to see it. And when they are being shown it on their faces by people like Cornel West, they run away. They end the interview and they go like, okay, so I got my ratings and people are going to tune in to my show because of you. And I will come across as someone who is very, very neutral because I'm inviting pro-Palestinian guests like you. This is exactly what Piers Morgan says all the time. This is his sales pitch. I invite pro-Palestinians, but they learn nothing. In fact, they go more with their lies. Unbelievable, guys. This guy, Chris Cuomo, I just hope that he doesn't destroy himself anymore. This is very, very self-deprecating, to say the least. And I hope that he will stop. Because this is nonsense. This is ridiculous. He should not be inviting anybody, any pro-Palestinian, unless he accepts the truth. And the truth is Israel is committing a genocide. And that IDF is a terrorist organization. The biggest one the world has ever seen. The world has ever seen.